Hey campers, today I am going to show you how to make a zigzag friendship bracelet. So in the end, it should turn out looking like this. So the bracelet actually does zigzag back and forth. So what you'll need is your string from your Camp in a Box, or if you didn't get a Camp in a Box, you can cut your own string. Mine's pretty long today because I like to make mine extra long just to make sure I have enough string, and then I can just cut off the end if I have extra. So if you're using your string from Camp in a Box, you will have 5 strings, but you can really do it with any number. I would say at least, probably at least 5 strings. And then you'll want something to tape down or hold your bracelet while you're making it. I'm just going to use duct tape, and I'm going to tape it right to this board here. But sometimes I use, on this one, I was using a safety pin, and I just safety pinned it to a blanket, or some people tie it to a water bottle, whatever works best for you. So if you are using your string from Camp in a Box, you have 5 strings. If you are making a really long bracelet or one to go around your ankle, or maybe a necklace, you'll want to tie it at the end and just use the 5 strings. If you have a really small wrist, or you're making a shorter bracelet or a keychain or something, you can actually fold it in half and tie it in the middle, which is what I'm going to do here. So you'll just get a loop here, and then you can tie a knot like this. So now I have a loop here, and now I actually have 10 strings to work with instead of just 5. So that is how you set it up. Either tie it in the middle with a loop or tie it on the end. Either way. All right, so now I have my strings taped to my board, so they're ready to go. And now this is the exact same as if you know how to do a diagonal friendship bracelet, or if you watched our video for the diagonal friendship bracelet. We're going to start off by doing the exact same thing. So you're going to take whichever string is on the left. You can put your strings in whatever color order you want. It doesn't matter at all. So whatever you like. I'm going to start with this green string, and you're going to tie an overhand knot. Well, actually, you're going to tie 2 overhand knots on each of your other strings, all the way across in the order you want them. So an overhand knot, you make a 4. So the stem is the one that you're tying around, and the one you're tying with makes the loop. And then you're going to just pull it through like this, and then hold this red one tight and slide the green one up. So that's one overhand knot, and then I'm going to do a second overhand knot like that. So now the red string is done, and I'll go on to my next string. My strings are kind of falling all over the place because I'm doing it vertically, but if you have it like flat, they won't do that as much. So now I'm going to tie onto this next orange string. Again, just doing an overhand knot, which is like a 4, and I'm going to do that 2 times, and then move on to my next string, which is purple, 2 overhand knots, and you are going to do that all the way across. So you're going to do that with every single string. I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so now I have done the first step, like the diagonal one. I have taken each string and tied it from left to right, 2 forward knots across each of the other strings, and this is what it looks like. You can see at the top it kind of gets messed up near the knot, but as you keep going, it straightens out, so don't worry about that if it doesn't look right at the very beginning. So now this is where it gets different than our diagonal bracelet. Now, for the next step, we're going to start on the right, and we're going to take each string and do the same thing, but we're going to tie a backwards knot. So that's just, I'll start with my yellow string instead of my green this time. And I'm going to tie a backwards knot. So just the same thing, but flipping it around the other side and tying it. And I'm going to do that all the way across with each of my strings. And that will give me my first part of the zigzag. Alright, so now I have done my forward knots from left to right and my backward knots from right to left. and you can see that my bracelet now has a nice zigzag in it. So now all you're going to do is go back to the original way. You'll go from right to left, doing forward knots and then back again, as much as you want until your bracelet is as long as you want, and then you can just cut off the ends and tie it on and you're done.